past 11. We're running just a little bit late, waiting on some very distinguished guests, but this is a beautiful day and the perfect time to start the program. I'm Ken Osborne, and as your Master of Ceremonies, it is an honor and a privilege to welcome all of you today. Our President, Dr. John Massia, members of the Board of Trustees, members of the AIDB Foundation Board, distinguished guests, especially the members of the Landreth family, students, faculty and staff, parents and friends. This is an auspicious day in the chapter of the musical history of ASB, because a building has been built and will be dedicated today, and a ribbon-cutting ceremony will be done, which will open an exciting new chapter, an era that's not like no other that has ever occurred here at this school. And students will not only have the opportunity to study music in ways that they've never studied it before, but there's also some digital recording equipment that they'll be able to train on. And so the future is, well, the sky's the limit. But I'm not supposed to talk about the future. That's Dr. Massia, and he's coming up a little bit later on. So right now we're just going to get started. First of all, we will have our invocation, which will be delivered by Zachary Glasgow, an ASB student, which will be followed by the national anthem with Lexi Jackson, Kaya Long, and Cynthia Tiller. Will you all stand, please, for our invocation, or remain standing for the national anthem?
Please bow your heads. All right. God of all blessings, source of all life, giver of all grace, we thank you for the gift of life, for the breath that sustains life, for the love of family and friends without which there would be no life. We thank you for the mystery of creation, for the beauty that the eye can see, for the joy that the ear may hear. We thank you for setting us in communities and schools, for the individuals who have given so generously in many ways for this new music building, for families, friends, teachers, and dorm staff who nurture and love us by choice, and who call us to grow in understanding and to offer us hope for the future. We thank you for this day, for life, and one more day to love, for opportunity, and one more day to experience your presence. For these and all blessings, we give you thanks, eternal, loving God. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rockets brightly, the bombs bursting in
Okay. Our national anthem, beautifully sung by Lexi Jackson, Kaya Long, and Cynthia Tiller. We appreciate that. It's my privilege now to talk about the music heritage and legacy of ASB. You know, music has been an integral part of the educational program at ASB since the very beginning. The first students enrolled in the school in 1867, and in an 1869 annual report, AIDB founder Dr. Joseph Henry Johnson spoke of asking the Alabama legislature for an appropriation to purchase musical instruments, maps, and books with raised letters. Music is a prominent feature in the education of the blind, he said. In 1870, the school's first music teacher, Miss Emma Omborg, was hired. Mr. August Williams headed the music department for 36 years. He and others, including Virginia Carr T. Redke, would teach harmony, vocal music, conduct an orchestra of wind and stringed instruments, and teach piano tuning. The history of ASB talks much of investments made in the music program with the purchase of new pianos, other music instruments, and notes the many people who played key roles in its development, like Bessie Priester, Gene Gibson, Eugene Landreth, Lucille Mahan, Annie Mae Tatum, Ted Beavers, Linda Cochran, Ellis Campbell, Ray Speakman, and Joyce Reeves. In 1934, ASB graduate Eugene Landreth formed the school's first band using second-hand instruments. In the 1940s, more resources became available for new uniforms and instruments, and the band traveled to New York to perform at the Lions International Convention in Madison Square Gardens. It should be noted here that they also rode in the parade of the Lions Club convention. Some of us younger old alumni remember Pap Landreth well. One story. In 1934, the ASB band began playing for ASD sports events, even traveling with the football team to away games. On one trip, driver Ira Mule Freeman, while enjoying the celebration of a win, accidentally exceeded the speed limit and was pulled over by state troopers. Contemplating what to do, Ira quickly changed seats with Gene Landreth. Yeah, you can imagine what happened. When troopers boarded the bus, one of them said, "My lord, they're all blind. Even the driver is blind." Once the troopers understood the true situation, they joined the blind students in laughter and let Mule Freeman go without a ticket. A personal note of my own. I had the privilege of playing for Pap during the 1966-67 school year. I played with the band in the ASD football games of '66, but I was not able to play in the concert of '67 because there was not enough room on stage for 3 snare drummers. Because he appreciated the hard work that I had done, and because he was such a kindly man, he let me sit backstage during his final concert. In 1968, Principal B.Q. Scruggs gave Ted Beavers the band director's job, and Bobby Jean Gibson, author of the alma mater, took over the senior music department, where she taught chorus, piano, and voice. I was fortunate enough to be one of her voice students, and today, some of the most notable songs you hear me sing, including Old Man River and The Holy City, were taught to me by Bobby Jean Gibson. In 1958, as a student at ASB, Bobby Jean Wiggins won the school contest to write an alma mater for ASB. Without a doubt, she captured the heart and spirit of ASB in song and still expresses the magic of our campus today. Incidentally, the alma mater has 3 verses. Please join me now and stand and sing the first verse and chorus of the ASB alma mater. The words are in your program.
Of dear old Alabama, there's a place that is so dear to me. How I love this place of which I'm speaking. How I love my dear old ASB. ASB, oh may God bless her, keep her pure from
those of you who are seniors and juniors, you maybe want to consider joining the alumni as soon as you graduate. And when you do, you will have a chance to experience all 3 verses of the alma mater, and the words will be more than simply embedded in your programs. They will become embedded in your hearts. Next up on our program, we're going to make a slight deviation, and we're going to go ahead, and it kind of fits here, actually, because we just looked at our musical past, and now let's take a glance into our musical future. And there's nobody more qualified to do that than a gentleman who has been described by our alumni president as a friend of the students, a friend of the people. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to welcome to the stage now the president of AIDB, Dr. John Massia.
Good morning. What a special day it is for AIDB and for the Alabama School for the Blind. I'm going to go off script just a little bit. It always makes my wife nervous when I do that. But I had a conversation with a wonderful gentleman right before the program started, John Granger. John Granger is a 1944 graduate of ASB. He's a gentleman who has had tremendous professional accomplishments in his career, and he's done so much for the Alabama Institute for Deaf and Blind. And he's also a historian of ASB. And he just told me a story, and I asked him if I could share it, and he said that I could. And kids, this story is for you because I want you to know how far we've come. Mr. Granger just told me this story, and he said that in 1938, he was in the band, and his good friend, Calvin Wooten, who at one point was also president of our board, they were wonderful lifelong friends. They were in the band together, and Mr. Wooten Calvin played the trumpet, and Johnny, I think, played the clarinet, and their practice room was the boys' bathroom, and they actually sat on the commode to practice. And so kids, we know we can do better than that, and we are so thrilled that we were able to provide you this wonderful new building, and we can't wait to hear the beautiful music that you're going to be making. The Blind Boys of Alabama will be singing for you shortly, and they just don't represent a connection to our musical past. They're an inspiration to our current and future students as an example of where hard work, determination, and continued development of your talent and musical ability can take you. What a joy it is to make a career for something that you love doing. We have a number of other special guests with us on this dreary but still beautiful morning. Members of the Board of Trustees, the Foundation Board of Directors, former trustees, alumni of ASB, members of the Landreth family, welcome. We love having you here today. Parents, staff, and members of the Alabama legislature, Senator Jim McClendon, Senator Del Marsh, we thank you so much for being here, but most important, we thank you for being friends of the children and all the students that are here at AIDB. We appreciate your support. Thank you all for coming to help us celebrate a day that we've looked forward to for a very, very long time. Ken shared some highlights earlier of ASB's musical past. I want to talk a bit about the future. Like so many of you, I love music, all kinds of music. I especially love attending musical performances, talent shows, and drama presentations by our students here at AIDB. On alumni weekends, music is always a prominent part of activities. So this new facility is a project that is close to my heart. I couldn't wait to hear the first notes of music being played in this building and to see the smiles on the faces of students as they came here for music, band, or chorus for the first time. As indicated by the folks on the stage today, the love of music is a lifetime gift. Sometimes it's a lifetime career. We have seen many noted musicians and artists develop their craft here. Some have gone on to build professional careers and national and international fame. Others have developed an appreciation for music that began on this campus. My own experiences in high school band led me to a lifelong love of music. I don't sing, but I did tell the kids I would bring my clarinet over sometime and see if they would let me play with them. So far, they've said no. Smart. Our old band hall and music classrooms were a far cry from the best, and our students deserve the best. Inside these doors are completely new facilities for band, music, chorus, and piano, complete with new furnishings, equipment, instruments, technology, and the space for a new professional recording studio, and that equipment is on its way soon. This new facility is an investment in ASB's future. It is a result of a partnership of state and private resources. We began with a $1 million one-time allocation from the Alabama legislature and matched it with private gifts and support from the AIDB Foundation. Our profound thanks to our private donors. The AIDB Foundation, AT&T, Jim and Allison Gorey, Joe Lombino, Boganier Davis Sims Architects, and the Joseph Bonds Priester Estate. The building was designed by Boganier Davis Sims Architects with a lot of input from Mrs. Larry, Mr. Bell, Mrs. Smith, and other ASB and AIDB staff. George Hicks Construction Company was our contractor, and we appreciate their hard work on this beautiful new facility. Now, students, the next chapter in this story is up to you. I want to challenge you to enjoy this new facility, have fun, and work hard to develop the musical talents and abilities God has given you. I love this quote by Ray Charles. I was born with music inside me. Music was one of my parts, like my ribs, my kidneys, or my heart. It was a force already within me. It was a necessity for me, like food or water. He went on to say, learning to read music by braille and playing by ear helped me develop a darn good memory. I know that some of you learn music that way, through braille, and then by committing it to memory. Others use print and technology. The methods and the instruments vary, but music touches all of us in a very personal way, as a force that moves us and drives us. So as the song says, get out there and make your own kind of music. Sing your own special song. We are very pleased today to have as our special guest, Senator Del Marsh, President Pro Tem of the Alabama State Senate, and a good friend to AIDB. Senator Marsh was a leading supporter of the appropriation we received to begin the new Landreth Music Center, and he and his wife Ginger are here to make a special presentation today. Senator and Mrs. Marsh.
This is really a great day. We're so pleased to be here. Not long ago, Ginger and I were attending a cancer benefit, raising money for the Cancer Society, as I know many of you have attended those as well. And in Anniston, we have in Calhoun County a company called Howard Core, which makes beautiful stringed instruments. And neither Ginger and I play, but they had a cello in an auction, and we wanted to support the Cancer Society, and so we bought this beautiful cello. And it wasn't long after that, I met up with John down to the legislature, of which you have a lot of friends, by the way, Jim McClendon being a great ally who's here today. But Ginger and I decided when I talked to John, and he said, well, the new music school is almost ready. And Ginger and I talked, I said, we could think of no better home for this beautiful instrument than in this beautiful building in the hands of these beautiful young people. And so we're here today to donate this cello to the new school. It is our honor to do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. And now, we're honored to have one of our students, Cole Howell, play just a little bit of the cello for us. Cole?
My pleasure now to introduce our next singer. I first heard this young lady sing June 20th when the Alabama Council of the Blind had a fundraiser at the Ritz Theater. And this young lady favored us with her talent, and she almost blew the roof off the Ritz. It's my understanding that she's only 7 years old. I remember back when, most of you aren't as old as I am, so you probably don't remember when Brenda Lee was called Little Miss Dynamite. Well, this girl kind of reminds me of Brenda Lee in her youth, so I kind of call her Little Miss Dynamite too. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome to the stage to sing my favorite things, Miss Georgia Applin. Little Miss Georgia Applin, ladies and gentlemen. And a well-deserved standing ovation for a marvelous singer. She blew me away then, and she blew me away again. Terrific work. It's now time for a couple of comments from some very important people today. Comments from Clarence Haynes, who is a member of the Board of Trustees. Matter of fact, he's the chairman. Also, Alan Harris, AIDB Foundation Board President. And we'll have them first, Mr. Haynes and also Alan Harris. Ladies and gentlemen, our Board of Trustees and our Board of Foundation members.
Thank you, Ken. I don't know about the important part of it. There's a number of you would disagree with that. It is my pleasure, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, to welcome all of you here for this wondrous day. Music has been a tradition here at ASB since the 30s because of the man that's name is on this building. And I had the honor of knowing him. He and my mother were classmates. The family, just a great family. And he would be just so tickled, and you can't help but to think that he's smiling in heaven now because of this new building and state-of-the-art equipment that we will have. I would like to say thanks to a couple of people. I'd like to thank Senator Marsh and Senator McClendon for being with us today. I would like to thank the board members that are here. I know that Terry Dunn, Chip Dobbs, and Ronnie Garrett. And I'd like to thank Ronnie as chairman of the Facilities Committee for help doing this. If I missed any other board members, if you raise your hand, I'll recognize you. And we have some former members, Johnny Granger, and a couple of chairmen, Linwood French and Jake Montgomery. Do appreciate your continued support for these schools. I'd like to thank Steve Gallagher for being here today. He is, for the guests that do not know him, he was over maintenance. He tried to retire a year ago, but Dr. Massia got him by the ankles and wouldn't let him leave till this building was completed. George Hicks and Wayne Crow, who was the superintendent, did a wonderful job on the building. Our CFO, I think she's done a wonderful job with the bunny. I would really like to thank Mr. Alan Harris and the foundation board for the support that they've given us. They just do, marvelous things, helping us raise money, especially in times of crunch. Mr. Harris, I'd just like to personally say thanks on behalf of the board. And we try to be good stewards of the money here. And Dr. Max and them just do a really good job. Again, welcome everyone, and look forward to touring the building. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. That's better, thank you. Dr. Masher, Senator Marsh, Senator McClendon, Board of Trustees, Foundation Board members, students, faculty, and honored guests, thank you very much for coming. We're honored to be here. The job of the AIDB Foundation is to practice sound economic policies. But in more simple terms, we, the foundation, have the privilege of funding special projects. Now, our view is that every project here is special. Just like the students, every student here is special. This is no ordinary building we dedicate here today. From it will come music and song, harmony and excitement, fun and achievement, and lots of smiles. Music warms hearts, eliminates barriers, promotes love one for another, and in every perceivable way is a very good thing. Ken, I remember Brenda Lee very well. And Georgia, just incredible. Blew me away. On behalf of all the dedicated members of the foundation, we urge you students and faculty to use this building, enjoy this building, love this building, and here you'll make friends for life. And finally, remember this, you students, you are the music. Thank you.
Thank you once again to Clarence Haynes and to Alan Harris. We appreciate you guys being here today. We appreciate everything that you do. All of the AIDB Foundation board members and board of trustees members, we appreciate you very much because we know we could not function as an institution and have the success we've had without you gentlemen. We appreciate it. Music has created many lifelong bonds of friendship and career partnerships among students of AIDB. In 1939, George Scott, Jimmy Carter, Clarence Fountain, and several other classmates of the Alabama School for the Negro Blind began playing and singing together in churches and schools in the Talladega area. In 1944, the group of young blind men decided to leave school and strike out together to see if they could make a living doing what they do best, music. They ranged in age from 12 to 23, and on June 10, 1944, the Happy Land Jubilee Singers made their first performance on a radio show. The group went on to have their own radio show in Birmingham the next year, and in 1948 recorded their first records as the Blind Boys of Alabama. Their notoriety grew, and they're now recognized worldwide as living legends of gospel music. The Blind Boys of Alabama have attained the highest levels of achievement in a career that has spanned more than 75 years and shows no signs of diminishing. Today, this 5-time Grammy-winning group, the Blind Boys of Alabama, are back home to help us celebrate our musical legacy. With us on stage are original founding member and AIDB alum Jimmy Carter, along with Ricky McKinney, Ben Moore, Paul Beasley, and music director Joey Williams. They are in Birmingham this week for 2 performances, and we are thrilled to have them here. To perform My Lord, What a Morning. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please make welcome the Blind Boys of Alabama.
To wake all nations from the ground, looking to my God's right hand. When the stars
Blind Boys of Alabama, ladies and gentlemen. Jimmy Carter, I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you have any comments, sir?
Well, I have one. It's cold out here. Well, I'm thrilled to be back to my old alma mater. Not in this particular location, but I'm still here. And I'm proud to be here. Everywhere the Blind Boys go, we are proud to tell the people where we came from. And I'm just proud to be here. And anytime that I can be of service to you, just let me know and I'll be glad to do so. Thank you very much.
Mr. Carter? This is Don Massey, the president of AIDB, and I couldn't let you sit down before I told you how much we appreciate you and what you stand for and your whole group, but you in particular, sir, because you set the standard for the children that are sitting before you today. And we want to tell you how much we love you and how much we appreciate that you're part of our legacy, and this will always be your home. It might not be the same spot where your school was, but ASB will always be your home, and we are so proud to have you as part of our family. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jimmy Carter. Thank you, Dr. Massey. And now, for the dedication of the recording studio, I'd like to present to you Ms. Vera Hendricks, who is Vice President of Instructional Programs, and she's going to be here for the dedication of the Landreth Music Center, and for the dedication of the recording studio. Ms. Vera Hendricks.
Good morning. In 1917, Alabama School for the Blind graduated its first class of 6 diploma graduates, including Miss Bessie Priester of Fort Deposit, Alabama. Miss Bessie demonstrated her love and loyalty to her alma mater and worked with others to create the Alumni and Workers Association that year, an organization which remains strong and vital today. That same year, Miss Priester joined the staff of ASB as the primary grades music teacher and taught piano and chorus for the next 40 years. Some alumni still remember a rhythm band that she created and her fondness for reading to young children in the dorm. Miss Priester also earned a special place in the hearts of her family, especially a young cousin named Joseph Barnes Priester, an attorney in Washington, D.C. When Mr. Priester passed away last spring, he left a gift to remember Miss Bessie's work and love for music at ASB. An important part of this new music center will be a professional recording studio which will provide students with an opportunity for training in the audio and recording industry. To honor the wishes of her family and remembering her love for her alma mater, we are proud to announce the naming of the Bessie Priester Recording Studio in the Landreth Music Center. Thank you.
And now for the dedication of the Landreth Music Center, it is my privilege to introduce the AIDB, the principal of ASB, Miss Charlotte Lowry.
Good morning. Thank you, Ken. I too want to deviate just a moment and tell a story that happened this morning, Mr. Carter. One of our students was talking to Ms. Waits, and our assistant principal, and she said, I've been here almost 40 years. And the student said, how did that happen? And she explained that how she started as a teacher aide right out of high school and became a teacher and then an assistant principal. And that student said, once you're blind, you can never go back. So, Mr. Carter, once you're blind, you can never go back. So keep coming, okay? It is truly an honor to have the Jean Landreth family with us today. And I'm going to ask them to please stand so that we can recognize them. Thank you, and I'm going to ask Mr. Landreth's daughter, Miss Helen Bussey, to join me at the podium, please. Jean Landreth came to ASB as a student at the age of 10 in 1914. He was from Lanett, Alabama. He graduated in 1924 and was hired as a music teacher at AIDB's School for the Negro Deaf and Blind in 1926. In 1934, President Hardy Riddle asked him to organize the first band at ASB. Mr. Landreth led the band for 41 years until his retirement in 1967. As a student, music teacher, and band director, Mr. Landreth was associated with AIDB for 53 years. He beat Ms. Waits. Mr. Landreth's band performed often for the legislature, and in 1949 performed at the Lions International Convention in New York and in Madison Square Gardens before a crowd of 28,000. The band was outfitted with new instruments and uniforms before the performance, and Mr. Landreth described the experience as the trip of a lifetime. They visited Radio City Music Hall, and because of their performance at Madison Square Garden, they were invited to play with the renowned Guy Lombardo at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Mr. Landreth proudly said of his band, "The music we play is equivalent to any sighted band. The difference is we memorize our music. We don't play by ear like people think." The old ASB Band Hall was named in his honor, and today it is our great pleasure to carry his legacy forward in the dedication of this new Eugene Landreth Music Center at the Alabama School for the Blind. And I think Ms. Bussey is going to make some comments. She has many, many stories, though.
I dare not tell all the stories that I know, but I was fortunate enough when the band went to New York to go. my sister Betty, who is deceased, and I'm so sorry that she did not live to see this grand and glorious day and the honor that has been bestowed to our daddy. I don't have a lot to say, but I have 4 sons. Betty had two daughters, and I just cannot express what this building means to me, because my daddy wanted something like this all his life. He would say, oh, if I could only have some private or individual practice rooms, because at the time they were located in what they call the old Red Building all the way across campus. And my daddy worked so hard to make this band what it was, and to make other students in this school to go forward and to make something of themselves and to be proud of themselves. This school was my daddy's, you could say, life, because he came here. He actually came first when he was 6 years old, and he kicked Mr. Gamey so many times that he decided that Daddy could go home, and he did not come back till he was 10. But this is a grand and glorious day, and I am so proud, and I'm so proud of all you students. Go forward, you can. My dad had a wonderful life and a memorial life. You all can do the same, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Bussey. And it truly is a dream come true for many of us. And I too want to say thank you to everyone who's made this possible. I do not have the words in my vocabulary to express the gratitude in my heart to all of those who have worked for this day, and it truly is great. I want to thank Mr. Chad Bell and Ms. Angie Smith for the work they do in carrying our music program forward to the next generation. We're all so proud and so excited about the addition of this new facility, the equipment and the instruments that you will see when you go in. Students, AIDB, and the AIDB Foundation have made a profound investment in your future. It is a gift to you, and we look forward to watching you develop your musical talents. And as you can see, they are many. Before we gather in front to cut the ribbon, our students will perform a musical finale entitled Sing, and they will be accompanied by Mr. Bell and Ms. Smith. Thank you.
There are a number of students involved in the finale entitled Sing, and so while they're getting ready, I'm going to tell you who those students are. They are Sharnae Ford, Marquez Derrick, Diamond Jackson, Norman Carter, Daniel Tailfeathers, Althea Tennyhill, Cassius Edwards, Brea Grable, Sierra Martin, Zachary Glasgow, Malia Thibodeau, Cedric Brown, Cole Howell, Connor Howell, Chase Lowell, Lexi Jackson, and Anicia Kennebrew, also Kyle Long, Cynthia Tillery, and Curtis Taylor. And also, the lady who sang for us a little while ago, Georgia Applin, will also be singing with them. Let's give them a hand as they prepare to do our music finale entitled Sing under the direction of Mr. Bell and Ms. Smith. time now for the moment we've all been waiting for, the special ribbon cutting ceremony. That is the climax of today's program. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our program. You are now invited to tour the brand new Landreth Music Center. They don't trust me with scissors. I didn't give any. The open house will last until 3 o'clock. Once again, we thank you all for coming, and don't miss your opportunity to tour the beautiful Landreth Music Center. Thank you very much.